Now, I've not had one of these before. I've seen them, or I've seen very similar or other bikes made by this company. The company's Bridgestone, and most of you all know Bridgestone as a tyre manufacturer. So the story goes that I've been told from quite a few people in the past, these bikes were fantastic. They were better than the other Japanese manufacturer's bike by quite a long shot. And basically the other Japanese manufacturers turned around to Bridgestone and said, you need to stop making bikes or we're going to stop buying your tyres. And they were predominantly a tyre manufacturer, so they ended up giving in and they stopped producing them. This one, although it's not complete, is what I believe is a 1969 Bridgestone TMX100. So it's quite a cool little thing. It's 100cc, 2-stroke, rotary valve. So the rotary valve is supposed to get better performance than the piston-ported engines were. That was the theory anyway, and I believe that Bridgestone did a fantastic job of getting a decent amount of power out of these motors. So this is 100cc, and I think they were getting. I just read somewhere that they were getting about 11 horsepower out of it, which is quite good for the time. And it's got. So we see this quite a lot on some old Yamaha and Honda trail bikes. It's got a twin sprocket on the rear, so if you're swapping from on-road to off-road, which is a trail bike, so that is the kind of thing that you would do. You'd be adding a piece of chain onto your existing chain to start using that bigger rear sprocket for higher torque and lower top speed. And then the other interesting thing is it's got a rotary gearbox. So it's a 4-speed gearbox, and you can feel the gears clicking through with the gear selector. There's no chain on it, but you can feel the gears clicking through. So it's a 4-speed box, and so you get to top gear, 4th, and then you click it once more, and then you're back into neutral, and then once more again, and you're back into 1st, and it just continues going. So, I mean, there is a thing to say that that could be a negative. You get into 4th, click it up, and then it's in neutral. But it is quite a nice feature, quite a nice, cool little thing. So, like I say, the bike is not complete. It's going to need a full restoration. It's got the oil tank. It's missing the seat. It's missing the rear light. It's missing the petrol tank. There'll be other bits and pieces. The wiring is not all plugged in. It's missing the headlight, but it needs a full restoration. The motor does turn over. There's no spark, but there's no key, so it could just be a case of getting a key or a new lock ignition, and then when you turn it on, then you might get a spark, or it might need a battery. It's not something I'm going to investigate. Yeah, cool little thing. They did 50s, I think they did 60s, 100s, 175s, which were like a cool thing to have, and then like the flagship bike was like a 350, where they were supposed to be like absolute flying machines for a 350cc back in the day. Right, let's have a quick look at her, and then you can see the overall condition and what kind of restoration is going to be required. But definitely a cool thing. I mean, maybe, you know, to do it as a cafe racer or something like that if you can't find the original tank or whatever. There's options, isn't there? But definitely a cool thing. So it's the original Bridgestone serial number, like VIN plate, which is nice to see. the actual overall condition of things like the frame, the motor, all looks to be in good condition. Like I say, I did do it before, but it turns over. There's a little sump guard underneath there. Looks like the brake arm has been quite bent at some point. There's also a VIN number on the headstock. The airbox is there. There should be a boot or a connecting piece that goes from here to the inlet, the air inlet for the carb. Obviously the carb lives inside here, and it's a rotary valve, so as the crank turns, it's that opens the port for the fuel and air mix to go in. Forks are corroded, handlebars are corroded, so need re-chroming really is the deal. Front rim, again, that needs re-chroming. It'd be nice to restore this bike with the original parts rather than getting new rims for it. Preston Petty mudguard. I have a feeling it would have been a chrome mudguard on this. Missing the front light. Brakes there. The speedo drive is what's missing from that section there. So all bits and pieces like that would need to be sourced, or it depends what you're going to do, because if you're just after a speedo and you can't find the genuine original bits, then sticking a little GPS speedo on it would be the way forward. The exhaust's on it in nice condition. There's a couple of little dents on the heat shield. The rest of the exhaust would you could have that re-chromed easily enough, and it looks in good condition. It looks like this section here, the chrome isn't bad, but the rest of it is, so I don't know why that. Maybe it's been lent up against something there, or something draped over it. Gear selector, you can hear it clicking through the gears, but obviously I can't test it properly. Rear rim again, that needs re-chroming. There's your twin sprockets. I love that idea. I think it's brilliant. Obviously the manufacturer's moved away from that. Like Honda ended up with a little high-low shifter system underneath the gearbox. I'm not sure what Bridgestone did, I'm not that clued up on them. But yeah, there you go. Nice thing. Well, it could be a nice thing with a few missing bits, but very cool, and there's certainly not that many of them around. I have met a few Bridgestone collectors in the past, and they all absolutely rave about them. There you go, nice little project bike there. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just search Phoenix Motos.